This video will be seeing about the PDU formats, that is the MAC data unit formats. So here your MAC layer which is going to receive the data from the RLC, that is a radio link control, as MAC SDUs, and it is going to pass this MAC PDUs to the physical layer. So when the packet goes out of a layer, it is going to be called as PDUs. When a packet is going to be received by a layer, it is going to be called as SDUs. So your MAC layer is going to receive the data from your RLC, so we call it as MAC SDUs. And when the data is going to go out from your MAC layer to your physical layer, we call it as your MAC PDUs. So here the MAC PDU is going to consist of two fields. One is your MAC PDU header field, and the other one is going to be your MAC payload. So your MAC payload is going to contain 0 or more SDUs and 0 or more padding data, other control elements and optional padding bits. So here your payload is consists of control elements, SDUs and your padding bits there. So in this case it can be 0 or more control elements, 0 or more SDUs and padding bits is optional there. And next is your field is going to be a MAC PDU header, where it is going to consist of one or more subheaders, a MAC PDU subheaders. So the format of the typical MAC subheader is shown here. So it is shown in the figure below. So it is going to consist of 5 different fields. One is your R, which is going to be a reserved field, and it is going to be set to always 0. And E is nothing but the extension field to indicate the presence of one or more fields in the MAC header. If E is going to be 1, then your R, R, E and LCID field here exist. If E is equal to 0, only either a MAC SDU or a MAC control element follows there. So and the padding field follows. So logic control ID. The next is the logic control ID, where a logic control ID is going to indicate the logical channel instance of the corresponding MAC SDU or the type of corresponding MAC control element or the padding. So it is going to indicate the corresponding MAC SDU or MAC control element or the padding here. So F is going to indicate the size of the length field. So F is equal to 0 means the size of the MAC SDU or the MAC control element is going to be less than 128 bytes. And L is going to indicate the length of the corresponding MAC PDU or MAC control element in bytes. So the MAC PDU for the random access response. So it is going to have a different format. So in this different format, we are going to have a MAC payload. We are going to have a MAC random access response there. So it is going to consist of one or more MAC PDU subheaders, and the subheader is going to consist of a payload information. This payload is going to consist of one or more MAC random access responses and the optional padding bits there. So the ARQ procedures, automatic repeat request procedures, are going to be it is going to be in two-layer transmission scheme. So a hybrid ARQ protocol and a selective repeat protocol there. So first we are going to see about a hybrid ARQ protocol. So in a hybrid ARQ protocol, we are going to have a low latency, low overhead feedback protocol in the MAC layer there. And it is going to be handling that responsible for handling of transmission errors by retransmission based on the HARQ process, that is a hybrid ARQ, automatic repeat request process there. So here in this case, it is going to be using the conventional automatic repeat request along with the error correction technique called soft combining technique. So here in this case, soft combining data packets is when the E node B is going to receive the data packets. If the received data packets is not going to be properly received, that is the user equipment is not going to properly receive it, all those data are going to be stored. The data packets which are received by the user equipment is wrong data packets are going to be received by the user equipment, means those user equipments will not, the packets will not be discarded by the user equipment, instead it will be stored in the buffer. And when it is going to receive the next signal, it will combine with the previous signal data stored in the buffer and then do the retransmission process. So here in this case, when two or more packets are going to be received, where each one is going to be with the insufficient signal to noise ratio, Then what it is going to do is here it is going to be combined. These two data packets are going to be combined in such a way that the total signal can be decoded with the help of these two packets here. So next is we are going to see your selective repeat ARQ protocol. So in a selective repeat ARQ protocol, it is nothing but your RLC layer protocol, which is going to correct the residual hybrid ARQ errors due to the error in your hybrid ARQ feedback. So here the latency with this RLC ARQ is going to be high, but it is used only in the acknowledge mode transfer mode there. The automatic repeat request not acknowledged is going to be received either status PDU or by the hybrid ARQ delivery failure notification there. So next we are going to see about your RRC overview. So the RRC overview is nothing but a radio resource control. So how the radio resources are going to be controlled, that is going to be seen under this topic there. So a radio resource control is going to be main functions responsible for the connection management, the radio bearer control, the mobility functions, the user equipment measurement, reporting and control, broadcasting system information and paging. So RRC or radio resource is going to be responsible for connection management, radio bearer control, mobility function, user equipment measurement option, reporting and control, broadcasting message system information and paging. So here your RRC states can be of mainly of two states, whether it can be in the idle or it can be in the connected state. So here when they are going to have it in the ideal state, that means that your user equipment is going to control the mobility. So it is going to tell whether the user equipment is going to do a selection process or a reselection process of the cell. That is, it is going to indicate the status of the cell, the link quality, all those is going to be established in this ideal state there. And we are going to have the paging information about that is the information about the incoming calls, and it is going to broadcast the system information there. When RRC state is going to be ideal, it is going to do a cell selection or reconnection process, reselection process and the paging process to know the details of the incoming calls, and it is going to broadcast the system information there. When RRC is going to be in the connected state, it is going to have a connection release. That means that connection is established, user equipment is connected to the cell. So here in this case, it is going to have a unicast data transfer. So a network control mobility, that means that handover is going to be done from one cell, that is from the one cell to another cell. So paging is also going to be done and broadcasting of system information will be done when this cell is going to be connected, when your user equipment is going to be connected to the cell. So now in detail we'll see your RRC idle state. So here your user equipment is going to receive the broadcast of the system information and the paging information there. And the mobility control is going to be handled by the user equipment. That is, it is going to perform the neighboring cell measurements and the cell selection or the reselection process. Your user equipment will also monitor the paging channel for your incoming calls. And user equipment will also specify the paging discontinuous reception cycle. So the paging information it is going to be available in the paging channel by user equipment will monitor the paging channel for the incoming calls, and it will specify the paging discontinuous reception cycle there. So RRC connected is the user equipment will transmit or receive the data from the network, that is from the E node B. When user equipment is going to monitor the physical downlink control channel associated with your shared data channel for the data there. So it is going to monitor the control channel as well as the shared data channel for data. And user equipment is going to report the channel quality information to the E node B, so that the E node B can schedule the resources for the user equipments. Then next is which is going to be used for data transmission there. So your user equipment is also going to provide the neighboring cell measurement information. So if the quality of that particular information cell is going to be good, then in that case your E node B can transmit the data to that particular user equipment to the neighboring cell there. And the network is going to control the mobility or handover of the user equipment. So the functions of RRC is, it is going to be a signaling radio bearers. So signaling radio bearers are nothing but these are the radio bearers which are going to be used between the transmission of your RRC and your non-access stratum messages there. So between your RRC and your non-access stratum messages, it is going to act as the radio bearers there. And non-access stratum is nothing but it is a functional layer in the it is a functional layer which is going to it is going to provide a connection between the core network and the user equipment. So here it is going to be a wireless it is a protocol stack. This non-access data is available in both in a 3G connection as well as in your LTE network. Here in this case, it is going to provide a protocol stack for connecting a core network with the user equipment. So the non-access data is nothing but a set of protocols in the UART packet system there. So it is used to convey the non-radio signaling between the user equipment and the mobility management entity there for the LTE or your EUTRON access. So here your SRBs, the signaling radio bearers, when it is going to be used in the RRC messages, we have three types. One is your SRB0. So when the SRB0 is going to be used in RRC messages, it is going to be used in control. There is a common control channel logical. It is going to use common control logical channel. And SRB1 is going to be used as in RRC messages and your non-access data messages. It is going to use your dedicated control channel, logical channel there. Control logical channel. Next one SRB2, a signaling radio bearer 2 is going to be used as for NAS messages. Then it is going to use a dedicated control logical channel which is going to have a lower priority compared to the SRB1. And this SRB2 is going to be configured by the EUTRON for security purposes. So here the main functions of the RRC protocol are going to be broadcast of the system information, RRC connection control, measurement configuration and reporting and other functions there. So in detail we will be seeing here. First is the broadcast system information. So the broadcast system information is nothing but it is going to be divided into two groups. One is your master information blocks and the other one is going to be system information blocks. So your master information block is going to consist of the most essential and as well as the frequently used parameters, transmitted parameters which are going to be used to acquire the other information from the cell. So to gain the system critical information from the neighboring cells, we are going to use a master information, that is a master information block. So the most essential and frequently transmitted parameters which are needed to acquire the other information from the cell, which are needed to acquire the information from the cell there. And SIB type 1. So SIB type 1 is nothing but it is going to contain, there is a system information block. So in a system information block type 1, it is going to contain the parameters which are going to be used to determine the cell selection, information about the time domain scheduling process over the other SIBs. So here in this case, the dynamic information is required to access the cell. So dynamic information is based on the channel quality, the particular cell can be selected and the scheduling to other SIBs can be done. So all the SIBs, the system information blocks other than type 1 carries system information messages. So these are the various system MIBs and SIBs available. So your MIBs are master information block which is going to have the downlink bandwidth, physical indicator, hybrid indicator channel configuration where the system frame number is going to be 4 there. And you are going to have SIBs, your cell selection parameters, scheduling of other SIBs, your tracking area node, your CSG identity, TDD configuration, all those are you going to see. These are the various SIBs and MIBs available. Next is your RRC connection control. So your RRC connection control is it is going to have the connection establishment, modification and release of the connection there. Then paging and initial security activation is also going to be taken care. So the establishments of the SRBs based on the application and the radio bearers which are going to carry the user data, the radio configuration control and it is going to have the quality of service control and the recovery from the radio link control. So the radio link failure can all be done by your connection control. Main is name itself as connection. So connection means a connection establishment, modification, release. So when I'm going to do the connection establishment, I need paging information, paging and their initial security activation, Then the SRBs, establishment of SRBs, radio bearers, which is going to carry the user data. Next is measurement configuration and reporting. So it is going to include the measurement establishment, modification and release, the configuration and deactivation of the measurement gaps, measurement reporting for intra-frequencies and interfrequencies, and the inter-radio access technology mobility there. So here in this case, it is going to provide the measurement establishment, that is the channel quality, that measurement establishment, modification and release of it, the configuration and deactivation of these measurement gaps, measurement reporting for intra-frequency and interfrequency, and inter-radio access technology mobility. So the other functions are nothing but your transfer of your dedicated not acknowledged non-access datum information, non-3GPP dedicated information, transfer of the user equipment radio access capability information, and support for self-configuration and self-optimization. Thank you.